has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Darkest Dungeon is about making the most of a bad situation. Quests will fail or must be abandoned. Heroes will die. And when they die, they stay dead. Progress autosaves constantly, so actions are permanent. The game expects a lot out of you. How far will you push your adventurers? How much are you willing to risk in your quest to restore the hamlet? What will you sacrifice to save the life of your favorite hero? Thankfully, there are always... I think it was going to say more, but yeah, I suppose you read that. And yes, in the next few Tuesdays we are going to play the Darkest Dungeon. So after this rather cheerful intro, we're going to start a new campaign. I have a test game here. Well, test game is a rather generous term here. I've played 37 weeks. That's not actual weeks, but that's like 37 dungeon runs. Anyway, we're going to start a new one. And this is going to be the... going to pick something cheerful here. Let's see, the Costa del Sol game. We'll create that and we'll enter that. There's going to be another cutscene here, so I'm going to shut up now.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Well, that was cheerful. Okay, I think now the game proper starts. I didn't set up a countdown. With the stagecoach destroyed and the caretaker gone, you will have to make the journey to the hamlet on foot. So this is a bit of an intro section. You can't really fail at it. You have two heroes here. Well, I'm going to wait for it to load. It may take a few loading times, and I'm probably going to cut those out later on, or just talk over them. And I'm not sure how many episodes we'll do. I don't think we'll completely finish this Let's Play, because it might take bloody ages. As you can see, I've done 37 dungeon runs. This one we'll just try to finish the old road and just get accustomed to the game. However, it's as you've probably seen in the intro, it's developed by Red Hook Games, who I think have done a few other games as well, and who have given, as far as I can tell, a blanket permission for Let's Plays, so thank you guys for that. As usual, I will place the download links for Steam, and I think GOG also has it in the description. And once this is loaded, there won't be that many loading times though. We'll delve into our first dungeon. Well, not quite dungeon, it's more like a road. I'm sincerely hoping this is not going to take too long. I suppose it's a bit difficult because recording software is running in the background, and that might stress the stuff a bit more. I'm also not sure what else it creates in the background. I'm just hoping the game hasn't completely frozen on me. And yeah, loading times are the bane of me because I have to talk about something and not really much is happening, so that's kind of difficult. Also, one of my viewers, L3Survive3er, whose name I still can't pronounce properly, has suggested to, or has reminded me to pre-record videos, which is a very good suggestion, and something I tend to do usually. Come on, it didn't freeze on me. But it was kind of difficult around Christmas because I was spending a lot of time with the family, which means I'd get home very late and I'd probably not feel like recording, and I know it's done now. And there was the pre-Christmas stress with the Santa Claus stuff, which also kept me from recording. Also, the review was around, so I couldn't record very late. And all that kind of messed up the recording schedule I would have liked to do. Okay, so this is our party. We have... I'm going to click those away because I know how the game works. So we'll have Reynold here, a Crusader, and Dismas, a highwayman. And those two are going to try to get to the hamlet.
Have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
Okay, so we'll just move ahead, and we'll be attacked.
This dug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
So combat is turn-based, and it's kind of based on how an attack. So you have those 4 attacks. So it's like Pokemon in that regard. You can only have 4 attacks. You can learn more. As you can see here, you can unlock more attacks, but you can only ever carry around 4 of them. And I think you can remap them between combats, but not during combat. Right now we only have those 4. And we're going to try Open Vein. Now there's quite a bit of depth to the combat. We'll have 2 bars here. This upper one is the health bar, the second one is the stress bar. Once the stress bar reaches 100, you may or may not get in trouble. I'm hoping we won't reach that too often, but there will be heroes reaching a high stress bar. And once that stress bar is maxed out at 200, I believe a hero just dies of heart failure. And as we've seen in the intro, or in the little text thing, once a hero is dead, he stays dead. Anyway, let's use Open Vein on that Brigand Cutthroat, which means he will now bleed for 2 damage over 3 rounds. So that would technically kill him already, but we'll just be on the safe side and smite him. And we got loot. Hooray, loot. So during the travels, there are those 2 tabs over here. That is your equipment. Those are trinkets, which we will find on our various quests. You can either equip those directly, or you can carry them home. Some of them are class bound, so you might want to carry them home for your class that did not join you on that particular adventure. And this is the map. You'll usually want to have that open during the actual travel. You'll find a few of those curios. And
leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
There's usually one or more ways that can, or maybe outcome can happen.
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
Okay, so now we have two enemies, and I should talk about this quickly. You can see, I can't point at it right now, but under the pointer, you have those two rows of dots. The left one is the position that this attack can be used from, so this can be used from the first, second or third position in the line. And the red dots over there on the right side display which targets can be attacked. Now this enemy is a big target, so he occupies the first 2 slots. So I can only attack this guy. If I used this, I could attack both of these people. However, for now, I only want to do this. And I want to get rid of this guy as soon as humanly possible. Because he's a pain in the ass. I'll also try to stun him. Now, I remember this from a while ago. Stunning was a very easy way to get your party to recuperate, because you would just spam the stunning on one unit, and you could use your other guys to heal up during that time. This was obviously not quite intended. By the way, bleeding stacks up, so the developers kinda removed it. And now once an enemy has been stunned successfully, he will have a stun resist for 1 round, so your chances of spamming this stun ability and pulling it off successfully are reduced. Also, because of that, we'll just smite him. What's that? Stunning? Okay. There we go. The enemy just bled to death. And now we'll do the same thing again. By the way, there's 3 connected dots means that this attack goes against all those enemies, whereas those are attacks. For example, this would attack the first 2 slots, and this one will only go at 1. And since this guy has not, as you can see, he has resisted the stun, which means he did not get that buff of stun resistance. It makes sense so far. He's also resisting the bleeding, which it should not. You can see the resistance of the enemy quite plainly. You can also see their skills, however, you can't really mouse over them. And you'll only see those skills once they have been used against you.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, we got some loot. We still have plenty of space. And we could loot that brigand's chest, but it's trapped as far as I know. So we'll just return to the hamlet, which we have now successfully reached. And once we're there, we'll look at the various things that are there. We got 5,000 for that. You sell your remaining food and your other supplies, and you gain some heirlooms. Well, those are the ones you collected during your quest. You also gain resolve XP and a level or 2, maybe. And once that happens, you will have either positive or negative events. So those are quirks. You can also catch diseases later on. So we are out of luck here. We got 2 negative things. Red is also always negative. And severe fear of enclosed spaces is quite bad, because most dungeons, I suppose, can be considered enclosed spaces. Also, some of those negative quirks will cause you, or will force you to do certain interactions with certain objects in the game. And they usually have, or with most of those, you actually have the option of either ignoring them or using a certain item on them, which will always trigger the positive interaction.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Hooray. So that you can usually use an item that will trigger the positive outcome of this event. However, if you have the a compulsion to interact with this thing, you will not be able to do that. It will go either way and you can't influence it. And that's one of the reasons why I try to get rid of those afflictions as soon as possible. Okay, so the hamlet is quite I think estate agents would call it in need of work. There is an abbey here, which allows us to reduce stress. By the way, stress persists if you don't take care of it. There is a blacksmith. Well, it's not there yet. There is a guild, which allows you to do your quests or your skills. There's a graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Which is currently empty. We have a sanitarium, which allows you to treat those negative quirks. It also allows you to gain positive ones. And of course, treat diseases. You'll have the stagecoach, which is very useful. You have a tavern, which also allows you to treat stress. Some heroes will acquire quirks that, for example, prohibit them from using certain activities, or they will gain quirks that only allow them to do certain activities. I haven't seen a hero that has, for example, won't pray and is forced to or will only pray. So I don't know if you can get that and basically exclude this hero from recovering stress in any way until you treat this quirk. But I think that's one of the few things that are not quite what the game would do to you. You can also visit that,
In time,
which will let you
know
visit all
tragic
the
extent of my failings.
yeah, this will let you visit the various sequences. So we could watch those prologue and old road sequence again. We don't do that. There is a survivalist, which will be of very little use for us right now because we'll only do short quests. We can look at that though. The survivalist lets you pick your camping skills. Right now every hero has 3. Like the other skills, every hero can have a top of 4 and you can remap them. I'm not sure if you can remap them on the trip, but you'll want to get a good mixture there. Usually hero all those I tend to get to try and get one hero who has an ability that prevents nighttime ambush, which means you will not be attacked during the rest. The rest is basically up to you. Most of those, or some of those abilities affect the next battle, so they give you buffs during the next battles. This, by the way, is one of those negative quirks that you might want to fix, or you can basically ignore as long as you have other things available. Because this guy is known to cheat, so he won't be allowed to gamble in town. So that means he cannot reduce stress while gambling. Aside of that, there is not too much to say here. You have your resistances, those are pretty self-explanatory. Blight is a damage over time, by the way, and disease is a basic disease. So that's something you want to get treated because that is like a permanent debuff. Okay, so yeah, you have your positive quirks, your negative quirks, your attacks, your camping skills, your equipment. This is upgraded in the forge, and this is stuff you can find on your quests. Reynold has the same. He is God-fearing, for example, and he will only pray for stress relief. It's also kleptomaniac. That's also something you want to get fixed as soon as possible, because he will just nick the entire loot from a bag sometimes. And yeah, that kind of sucks. And we have this nomad wagon here, which will give us some rare trinkets, but now we have none of them. We can sell those for money. And you have the stagecoach.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
You can use your heirlooms here to upgrade. Right now we want both of those.
Great heroes can be found.
And this will only trigger the next week. And
rain.
And I believe all of those are the... in the first week you always get those heroes. You'll get your initial 2, and you'll get a Plague Doctor and a Vestal.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
Okay, yeah, we upgraded that already. So those have their own skills, and those are more healing based. Okay, fine. Also, what this shows you is the preferred position, so that is the position where most of the skills of that person will be able to be used from. And you'll have the... that kind of sucks. I want to remove those 2 skills later on. So as you can see, this guy is better in the 3rd position. And this lady here would be better in the 2nd or 3rd, but we'll put her in the 4th position because I usually only want the vessel to be healing. Keeping the party alive is quite vital to your success. Can we do anything else? No, we can only upgrade those. This yet. Oh, at the moment. Each building will require different heirlooms to be upgraded. And of course, this can be quite expensive. So apparently, doing interior decoration will increase that. And will make things better. Some of those require other things. So this requires Destructor Mastery, Weaponsmithing and Armorsmithing, level 2, which will... Well, some of those are in the Guild and some of those are in the Blacksmith. You probably can figure out what goes where. And I think that is all for this game. I don't know what that is. I'll not click it. Actually, I will click it right now. Oh, you can trade heirlooms. That's pretty cool. I wasn't aware that was a thing. I'll try not to do that, because in the end you'll always need everything and a lot of it. Although so far I noticed that crests are kind of the... they're like coins, yeah? You'll never really... you'll never really have much of a need for that. Actually, no, you need lots of those, and most of our upgrades require one of those first 3, so either busts, portraits or deeds, and some crests. Okay, now we'll do one more thing in this episode. There's not more to do, so we can embark on the next adventure.
Of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
Okay, and there we go. This is the quest selection screen. Right now we can only do 2 quests. This one is sure to get us killed. And this one is the one we're supposed to do. As you can see, we gain no camping supplies, so we are not supposed to rest on this quest. It is a level 1 quest, so only low level heroes can take it. This is our party, the usual suspects. Some party compositions will have like a tagline for that. Those are the rewards you gain. You can pick your quests based on that, and they will be shuffled every week. So if you don't take a quest, for example, a kill a certain boss quest, the rewards will be different next week. So it might be more tempting then. I usually pick the quests based on either the trinket I would gain for this quest, or based on the kind of heirloom I will gain. Okay, we'll go with the provision here. That's also something you get for the remaining things.
Measured now in gold, later in blood.
So this is where I tend to spend most of my gold. You'll want a few things. Food is essential. It's absolutely essential, because food allows you to eat. Well, that was straightforward. Especially during longer quests, your party will get hungry, and if you don't have food, or if you don't have enough food for the entire party, everybody will suffer 20% of their health damage, and some stress. And yes, that damage can kill your hero. Secondly, those items, shovels, are used to clear obstacles and break into things. Anti-venoms and bandages are used against blight and bleeding. We don't need that, we have a plague doctor for that. We also gain 1 anti-venom from the plague doctor and 1 holy water from having a vestal, I believe. Those other items are used for... torches are useful for the light level. And keys will allow you to open locks without triggering traps. And holy water is used to purge certain items. It's usually advisable to take a few of them. So we'll take 3 shovels. I tend to go with 8 torches. 4 holy water for that. 3 of those. And let's take 12 of that. You can really never have enough food. You can also eat food during the travel to recover some health. And with that, I believe this episode is done. And I will go embark. And I'll see you when the loading time has finished. So until then,